in this case, Macy is willing to talk about her relationship with her mom. It sounds like she would like to talk about it. So the next task is to then evoke change talk from her, evoke her thoughts about working on this relationship with her mom, and ultimately what that would mean for Macy in terms of her change. So, of course, we are talking about how the client can make changes because we know that we can't control other people, right? That we can't make other people change. And we certainly can't make our clients change, but we can help them think about it and work through that to try to build their commitment to make a change. The more a client talks about making a change, the more likely they are to make a change. So by change talk, I mean that they may be saying things that indicate they are preparing for change. So they may talk about a desire, I want this to be different, which is what Macy has given me. It could include statements like, I believe I could do that. I can work on that. So their confidence in their ability. It could include discussing why they want to make that change. So that includes what concerns them. It can include the benefits that they perceive they would get, what they are hoping for. It can include the cost of not changing, what it's currently costing them, which is why they want to make that change. But it also could include what it eventually could cost them in the future if they don't make that change. So essentially, it sounds like they're complaining about the change that they need to make. So it sounds kind of funny, but that actually is change talk. So when they are saying, this is just too much, I don't like feeling this way, I'm tired of being anxious all the time, it makes me feel sick to my stomach. So they complain about what that current behavior is costing them. So those are all reasons to make a change. And those are all related to their values, what's ultimately important to them. And lastly, their change talk could include talking about a need to make a change. So that's not quite commitment, but it is expressing that urgency that I really need to do this. So not just that I want to, but if I don't do this, something bad is going to happen. No, I really need to do this. So a sense of urgency. So their change talk could include any of those categories: desire, ability, reason, or need. Ultimately, though, what we want to hear is their commitment or willingness to make a change. So is it recognizing the problem, having reasons, and maybe even having a certain amount of confidence? It's saying, I will do that, or I'm willing to. So that's what we call activation of change, is that it implies the commitment. So I'm willing to do that. Yeah, I'm willing to try that. I'm willing to work on that. That is what we want to hear, to know that there is some level of commitment. Then we can work on the actual change plan. Then what are the solutions? So now we can get that cart rolling towards the plan for change. We want to evoke change talk from the client. So she wants to have a better relationship with her mom. How confident is she that she could have that relationship with her mom? That she could do things to help improve that relationship? How important is it to her, and why? So the reasons for that, right? So how would she benefit by improving that relationship with her mom? And what is it currently costing her? It's kind of asking them, how bad is it currently? When we're exploring that, and we call that the pros and cons. So we mean that in motivational interviewing, we really want to focus on the pros, or the benefits of making the change, and the cons, or the consequences of not making that change. And sometimes we actually want to be careful about evoking the cost of not changing, particularly if we sense a lot of confidence issues. Maybe if Macy is feeling particularly depressed about the relationship, very hopeless. When a person feels demoralized about making a change, we probably don't want to spend too much time on what it's costing them because that they already feel pretty bad about it, that we're better off to focus more on those potential benefits of making a change. And then we want to work on building their confidence and their ability to make a change. So we've done some evocation. We've asked some open-ended questions about what she wants, essentially what is her goal, right? What is the focus? We've asked her to think about how she would benefit if things were better. So if she made some changes in her relationship with her mom, how would that benefit her? We've asked her questions about what it's costing her, or even if, I think in some ways, I didn't really need to ask her what it's costing her. She automatically shares that because she likes to talk about her relationship with her mom. And so I have her perspective on that, on what that relationship, the conflict is costing her. And then ultimately, I have an idea that her confidence and her ability to make changes in that relationship is probably on the low side because she's feeling like it's hard for her to even imagine those benefits, to imagine what would that be like if you and your mom could get along.